You're tuned in to Grown Folks Production. In the mix. With the commish, Nate.
All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome to OMFL Press Pass Live, OMFL Media Days, day number 3. I cannot believe we're already doing the third one. We have a slight change this morning. Our guy Priest, unfortunately, had some bad weather roll through a couple of days ago and knocked their electricity out. So because of that, Priest cannot join us this morning. We'll find another day for Priest, but I'm still super pumped. I got a guy that I think I'm still learning a lot about, even though, again, I try to reach out and like touch base and get to know people, but folks are busy, and I get it. No one's got time to sit there and just chit chat with Nate, but I've learned a lot about this fella here recently, and then he learned a lot of brownie points with me this morning. Whenever you see his shirt, you're gonna get it. Let's get right into it. Let's bring in the coach of your Jacksonville Jaguars, Mr. Duval. Duval, how you doing this morning, bud?
Man, I'm doing wonderful. You see, I'm repping.
You're repping, brother.
My goal is to get at least 2 or 3 shirts this year.
Well, we're going to have to hook you up. We're going to have to make that happen. The OMFL blows me away. We can talk about it later, but the fundraiser has been all OMFL except for like one other donation. And it's just crazy. The guys here just are amazing, and we're really blessed to have you here this morning. Thanks for making time. My dude went outside. He was like, I'm going to get some sun this morning. While that lasted like 6 minutes because he's in Jacksonville. You don't just sit outside in the middle of July waiting. Duval, let's talk about your team, bud. I don't know. I think you tried to play a little bit here and there, but I know your schedule keeps you really, really busy, and feel free to let people know what you do and why you're so busy, because it's pretty cool what you do. But what are you excited most about in Madden 24?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you, man. First, I want to thank you for hosting this. And second, I want to thank Bill, man, for the Summer League. Believe it or not, I think the Summer League really helped me out with a lot of problems that get me really pumped for Madden 24. And what I mean by that is, I realized that the Jaguar going into next season is a loaded team.
Yep.
But I have to learn how to play with all these different pieces and make sure I'm taking advantage of opportunity and not trying to force the game.
Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
Well, I think for the longest, I struggled last season, Madden 23, because I felt like I still wanted to play the old version of Madden, where I could just air it out and just be very creative. But what I'm learning more and more, especially in the division I'm in, that ball control win games. And I'm learning that more and more with this Jaguar team, that they have pieces to have ball control offense but still be explosive.
Yep. Well, let's talk about your team a little bit. What's the one thing that you're going to need to see from the Jacksonville Jaguars for season 106? What's the biggest thing you need to see?
Calvin Ridley. That's it. I want to see Calvin on the field. He's going to be something. Anyone know I'm a dedicated Jaguar fan, and we haven't had a number 1 receiver since Jimmy Smith. And we got the potential to have a number 1 in Calvin Ridley. And I'm excited to see how this team coming around offensively, around having our true number 1. Defensively, I think we still have some holes, especially on the corner position. I think if we could shore that up, I think we have a good opportunity to do something special.
You went real old school. I love those Jaguar teams. I wouldn't say I was a fan, but they were like one of my second favorite teams, but because they were just fun. You had that was a fun team. I remember them back in the Natron Means days. So that dude was a monster way back in the day. Tell me, I think you came out really hot, if I remember, Madden 23, and then you stepped back a little bit, and then you started getting it figured out again. What are some real expectations for your team in Madden 24 for season 106?
I think this team should win 10 games easily. I think expectation for me is keep Trevor under wraps, not forcing the ball. Feature my running backs. I have Busby, a good rookie running back that we got from Auburn, Tank. He's a workhorse. Of course, we got Travis, and we have all the other pieces. But I think for me, it's protect the ball, play another down. That's got to be our mentality this season: is protect the ball, play another down, not force it and turn the ball over, put our defense in a bad position.
Fun fact, Travis Etienne is from the exact same city, grew up, raised in the same city that I was a youth pastor in for like 10 years. I lived there for like 12 years. We moved from there to come here. I didn't know Travis or his brother. They were a little younger right as I was moving out, but a cool dude. How did they do Bixby on the ratings? Were they nice to him, or is he a little project?
It's a project. But I think for what I think I need to do with this team, he's going to be okay.
What's the one guy, though, on your team? You've mentioned a couple of names already, but what's the one guy that you're like, man, I cannot wait to play with this dude?
I'm hoping Trayvon Walker. I need a breakout season for him. I played with him last year, looked great as a rookie. I'm really excited to see how year 2 of his development looked. But that's one of the big ones that I'm looking forward to.
Let's talk moves. I don't recall you making a ton of moves. You felt like a guy who liked to keep his team together and like, how do we pay everybody? How do we keep this thing moving down the road? But what's your number one priority move? It could be a trade, it could be a depth chart, but what's the one thing that when you log into the CFM, you're like, this is the first thing I'm doing?
Cornerback. I got to get some corners. Even though my division is funny because since he is leaving, but we still got some heavyweights in our division, and they do throw the ball. And we got to be able to lock down guys and be able to play the ball control offense. We have to have a dominating defense. And for me, it started with protecting the secondary. I think we got a good defensive line. We're bringing in a nice import green linebacker over with us. So we get some corners, at least one. They pair up with Campbell. I think we're going to be a very exciting team.
Our guy Trey is here. Trey, my bad for not introducing you. I should have. I had my mind rolling with trying to make sure we do this thing. This is what happens when you get up bright and early in the morning and don't have coffee in you. Trey, what do you got for our guy Duval?
Well, as you mentioned, since he's leaving the division coming off a Super Bowl or OMFL Bowl championship, do you feel like season 106, do you feel that you're in prime position to maybe make a run for the division title, as it's now essentially an open book between the three of you and whoever's replacing Cincy?
Here's the problem with our division. It's all three of us play similar. And we all have similar game style, and we've been playing against each other for so long, so it's kind of hard to say who's going to be leading this division. I think it's all dependent on if Truth run his ball and do everything he normally do, he can win it easily. You never know what Rod's going to do. Rod's already come with some great defense and some great passing. So you never know. I think it's going to be, like always, it's going to be a tough battle to win the South. If we don't beat each other up, we might could even go far in the playoff.
Now, with all the weapons that you have at your disposal on offense, do you feel like, I feel like tight end may be the weak spot of that offense. Do you feel like addressing that eventually, or you're just going to roll with what you have?
I love Ingram. We just re-signed him in real life. I think he's to me, he's a receiver tight end. So yeah, but we do have some younger guys on the depth chart that more of your typical blocking tight end that I do like, that we probably will utilize a lot when we run a double tight end set. We just want to be more. I think last season we were just trying to. We didn't have an identity. We was all over the place, and so we really want to have identity. And when you play the Jaguar, you're going to understand exactly what you're going to get.
Now, as you saw the strength of the AFC increase last year, does that give you more motivation to try and compete with everybody and be in that top list ranking as that we post every so often? Well,
for me, I think for this season, I'm not going to get caught up in all that. For me, I want to get caught up on, let's play football the right way. Let's grind this ball out. Let's get it some 21, 20 games. I'm not trying to score 30 and 40 points because I think that was the problem. I would hit down so hard on the gas first quarter, and then I'm out of gas second, third, fourth quarter. So for me, I really want to take our time, be patient. And if we do what we're supposed to, we'll get all those recognition and rankings and get in the playoffs and do what we need to do.
Good to hear. Look forward to seeing the rest of the Madden cycle.
I got one more for you. I would say before I say my question, I listened to a real life interview with Ingram yesterday, and is it Ingram?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Neat dude. I think you're going to see a big season out of him in real life. Mr. Maniac had submitted a question he likes us to ask all our guys here. He's interested in the moves that you're going to make. He wants to know, do you plan on trying to build your team young through the draft, or do you like to sign kind of aging free agents that other guys don't want, or maybe trade for older guys that people are getting away? So are you going the young route, or you like to go to the veteran route?
I think it's a balance because some certain position, I think you need some veteran present, and some you could take some chances with some young guys. For me, it's about looking at what our team identity going to be and getting the right guy to fit the system. If you're old, young, it doesn't make a difference. It's all about keeping our focus on how we want to play this season and making sure we bring the right guys in to fit that scheme.
I love it. Duval, thank you for making time for us, buddy. Thank you, Trey, for a couple extra questions here. Even in hot Jacksonville, you got up early this morning, made some time. I already heard the family's up and about, so I'm sure your honey-do list is already growing this morning. Duval's one of the main guys that has made me really look at the rules and how do we find a balance between competitiveness and allowing owners to play freely, but also not let guys just take advantage of flaws, which is why rules are there. I do think that we're getting better with our communication. It's unfortunate side of text is I think I've been misunderstood by him and I have misunderstood him, but we've both worked on it. We've kind of gotten on the same page, so I appreciate you as well.
I'm gonna say this, Nate, and I'm gonna own my words. Madden 24, I have learned how to play within the rules. but more than that, I understand more and more. And what you do is a lot, and try to manage all these different guys. And like I always told you, I always just think about you and your family. And this is a video game. We all live in real life, and I just don't want you to take away from your real life to manage a bunch of crazy guys. But we appreciate you. I know I do. And much as I get on your nerve, I'm not going anywhere.
No. You don't get on my nerves.
My hope is no more than one FPR this season.
Well, if we go this new way, if there's any FPR, it's guys got to go. I don't even know if there's a warning system. You can't get these simple rules set. You got to go, man. But anyway, I appreciate you, Duval, man, and it's been a pleasure. I want to see the Jacksonville Jaguars do great this year because when they're rolling, it just makes that division better. I think sometimes we beat up on that division because it has had a bit of an up and down. It's funny to say because you have the champion that was there last season, but the division as a whole has had a lot of downs more than ups, and so I want to see you turn it around and get that team rolling.
Well, here's the problem. If we get rid of Truth from our division, I could win it all. He sucked, man. The man sucked. The man around here walking around in 100-degree weather trying to lose weight, chasing kids around. Something wrong with that man. Get rid of him from our division.
Hey, man, he's doing his thing. For those who don't know, Truth and Duval are good buddies. I did laugh. If I were to grow a beard out, my wife does not like facial hair, so I don't do it. I would be rocking the grays with you and with Truth and with everybody else. You can just look at the hair. It's almost white. So us old guys got to hang out together. And look, he out there doing the thing, so...
Yeah, that's my boy. That's my boy. But I can't wait to meet him.
I will not say it, but because it's his personal stuff. But Duval also is a servant and does public service, and so any of these guys like Truth and Duval and these guys that work for this crazy world that we live in and are trying to figure out that system. You think FPR is tough, Duval. You got a system in front of you that's even worse than that. So I appreciate you and appreciate what you do for us in real life.
Appreciate it. I truly appreciate it, man.
Oh, there you have it, Mr. Duval of your Jacksonville Jaguars. I appreciate him. I'm glad that he is here with us this morning. And there you have it, OMFL Media Days. It's short and sweet today just because Mr. Priest had a storm roll through and was not able to. Let's get our buddy Priest, our buddy Trey up here. He was not able to be here because of the issues with no electricity. Yeah, and I would say, yeah, that's a fairly big issue that you got to figure out. So, Trey, what'd you think about that this morning with our friend Duval? The Jaguars, they're trying to get things figured out, man.
Nice young team, and it's nice to see that he's excited to get some pieces rolling, especially with Calvin Ridley finally showing up. And like you said, they really hadn't had a number one wide receiver since Jimmy Smith. So it'd be cool to see if they can turn Calvin Ridley into that for him, or if it doesn't work out, if he moves on fast.
And talk about a team that maybe last Madden was still a project, but the Madden before, they were a complete disaster. In just a couple Maddens, they went from complete disaster to young, athletic, fast, cap, like a fun team that you want to have and be able to build around. So I think Duval has really got a great asset in his hands if he can just figure out how to make it kind of come together on the field.
Yeah, it's kind of cool because if you look the last few years, the Jaguars and Lions were like the two worst teams, and now they're slowly just crawling up those ladders. It's going to be fun to watch these two teams throughout the process of the next couple of years to see how high they can actually go.
You know who else? I don't think it'll be there clearly this year, but I do think in the next couple Maddens, I think the Texans, I think they have the right coach. I think if the ownership stays true and they draft well, that's going to be another team that we're going to see just flip the switch. Let's talk about that division. We got Indianapolis. I don't have it memorized, but Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Houston, and Tennessee. Is that division?
Yep.
That again, as I was saying with Duval, it's a division that we've seen downward turn for quite some time, and then they'll pop up and they'll have the great season, and it feels like they're right back down. I forget exactly who's in Indianapolis right now. Maybe you remember that, but you got Raj, you got Duval, you got Truth, and then whoever's taking over in Indianapolis, which might be one of our new guys or one of our new friends that are joining us over here. That division is literally up for grabs. Well, how do you see that one playing out in Madden 24?
It's going to be can Roger be fully checked in? Because if he is, he plays a huge factor in that division.
Yep.
And Truth and Duval both, if they can get their feet planted and set and ready to roll, it could be very challenging for all three of them. And it's one of the divisions that I'm actually looking forward to because it's a three-team race. I knew exactly who the fourth owner was, but I think it's the closest on paper division that we have.
Yeah, I think to me the wild card, even as I go to say it, I feel like they're all wild cards, right? Because we've seen Duval put it together and get off to hot starts, and then FPR becomes an issue and he struggles. Again, I think where we're going, he's played in the summer league. I'm hoping that he'll get the FPR figured out. We've seen Roger when his health allows him to, he's able to be fully engaged and do the thing. And that is a very good look. His quarterback, the throwing power was not nice, but he can get that up to 90 with a little incentive awards. He's going to have, a young athletic defense. I feel like Raj can turn the corner. It may take him a season before he can get there, but I think he can. And then Truth, we've seen him make the playoffs before when he's engaged and he's got that team rolling behind Derrick Henry. He's got some young quarterbacks. Like there is a situation there where he can get some things figured out. They're all wild cards where they could easily go. I don't even know what the new numbers are now because they added a game, but would it be 6-11? They could all be 6-11 or
11-6.
Yeah, totally, right? And make a deep run. So they got their work cut out for them because the AFC, I feel like, has gotten better this Madden. and it's not going to be easy to make a deep run, but I want to see that AFC South turn things around and start to win a few more ball games. Before we get out of here, what's one player to watch over there? We've seen the NFL draft come. The ratings have been released. I know you haven't got to like dig into those really. I don't think any of us have, but who's maybe one player that you're ready to keep an eye on? For me, it's going to be what happens with Shroud. He's going to be athletic. Yeah. He's going to have fairly nice throwing accuracies. The arm is 89, but you can get that up to 90. It's not the greatest thing in the world to be 90, but you can win with 90. We've seen guys do it here. You have to play slightly different offensive style, which I think the new rule set, if we go that direction, will allow people to play different styles. And I think you can win with Shroud. He, to me, that's the key. What happens with Shroud? Who's the one guy you're keeping an eye on?
Well, as much as I am an Ohio State fan, and Shroud is very much, hopefully, the one that breaks the curse of the Ohio State quarterback, I'm more so interested to see on Will Levis.
Yeah.
With Tannehill being up there in age, the regression is going to be coming. If Truth decides that he's going to run with Levis, it'd be interesting to see just how efficient he'll be with him.
Who's the other guy that they drafted last year? It was like a guy from a small school.
Malik.
Yeah, and like, so you've got a couple young athletic quarterbacks that are probably going to be projects. It's like, which direction does he go? Does he move one? Does he get some assets? Like, yeah, that's a really interesting quarterback situation to watch play out. To me, also with the Titans, what happens at running back? I mean, Derrick Henry's got to be over 30 or at 30. Like, he's got to be right there. He's got to be over 30. Yeah, so I know that we got a little bit more control on regression sliders, but running backs fall off after 30. Yeah, so a lot of interesting storylines coming out of the AFC South. Well, Trey, good morning. Happy Sunday. Hopefully a much better Sunday than your Saturday got going. But I'm glad that you were able to be here with us today. And that's going to wrap us up. So I'm going to get everybody out of here. I'm going to go make coffee today. I didn't get coffee yesterday because the baby girl was here. Boy, when she's here, that's it. It's like full bloat. We got to go with her. And so I'm going to go get me some coffee. Press Pass Live tomorrow. You want to do one? Not a ton to talk about, but maybe we could do this. Maybe we could talk potential storylines and run through a couple divisions.
I'm in. Let's do it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, let's talk some potential storylines. So I'll throw that on the stream. You guys come hang out with us, and we'll do that. All right, guys, I love you. Thanks for hanging out with me. We're slowly getting the kinks out of this system working out, so I appreciate you. All right, we'll see you Monday. Bye. Peace.